Hello all. So here I am again, remembering to do this at the last minute. This is like the I don't remember how many times, but I keep looking at the clock, seeing it's 11, and then remembering I haven't done this yet. Oops. Playing Xenoblade again. Um, Today I refuse to talk about politics because honestly, there's not much to report except that apparently people have made the Nixon comparison enough inside Trump's cabinet that he's completely flipped his wig over it, and is like he has like banned anyone from mentioning Nixon. Oh, his YouTube got suspended today, so that's good. Uh, like I kept saying yesterday, it'd be funny if it weren't so goddamn sad. But anyway. No, I've just been chilling with Xenoblade for the most part for the last few days, honestly, and I haven't really gotten much chance to talk about it because I've been too busy ranting about everything else. I am very much in endgame now. I'm literally cleaning up side quests and unlocking everything for everybody until until before I do the last like two areas. Which is interesting. Even when I played completely broken, I didn't take the time to do a lot of this. Why would I? I was broken. Like I'm currently party average level is 91. So yeah, I'm just enjoying it now, and because I really am. I've got like I've got a favorite person to play with who's not Shulk this time. Uh, they are really fun, and I did not utilize them and explore them correctly the first time I played this game, obviously, or else I would have been using them constantly. You know, I let's see. I'm not gonna be able to get an hour count because it's no, it is. So I've got over 115 hours in this game. You think I'd be tired of some of the battle themes by now? You would be wrong. You would absolutely be wrong. Between the most common battle theme being composed by Yoko Shimomura, one of my musical heroes, um, Kingdom Hearts, Mario RPG, the Mario and Luigi series, Final Fantasy 15. Uh, did a couple of the remixes that are on Ultimate, um, and by extension, a couple of them are from Brawl, I believe. This is not going well. But like between that theme and then You Will Know Our Names, I could probably listen on loop for the rest of my life. It kicks so much ass and goes so hard. Do yourself a favor. If you haven't heard You Will Know Our Name, go listen to at least that song. It is fantastic. It has no business going as hard as it does, and I love every second of it. Yeah, let's see. Last night I got in bed about maybe like 2 o'clock or something like that. It wasn't as late as usual, and I think I was asleep shortly after 3 o'clock. So that was nice. And I slept hard, and I did not want to get up, and I actually, I rolled over at like 11:30, I think it was, and I just was not ready to get up yet. And so I didn't, and I slept a few more hours. I've been taking melatonin to try and level myself out a bit, and while it's not helping me fall asleep like I hoped it would, it is absolutely improving the quality of my sleep. Like, for the first time in recent memory, if not my existence, I feel like I'm actually resting when I'm asleep. And I genuinely can't tell you the last time that's been. Forgive me, I'm menuing. I also finally finished watching Vinny's playthrough of Final Fantasy VI, and it made me miss that game, even though I only played it for the first time like a little over a year ago, I think. It was around New Year's last year, because I played it on my SNES Classic, and it was the first time I finished it. I had picked it up before, and couldn't tell you how far I got in it. It was less than halfway, I know that much, because it was before the big event. People that have played it will know what I'm talking about without that being a spoiler. Yeah, it was well before the big event. Probably play it again sometime. It's a really solid. It's extremely solid. Entry. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, I remember enjoying it a lot. It's not as hard as some of the other Final Fantasies in that era. 3 especially, which had some really odd puzzle dungeons. I can't remember a lot of it off the top of my head, but like I remember very specifically, I believe it was the Leviathan Shrine that you had to shrink to get in, and you were very much weakened because of it. And so that one was a lot of heavily magic reliant dungeons. They really went in hard on the job system, which I didn't mind. Like you couldn't just set your character as whatever and expect to coast through the game. You very much had to utilize usually the latest group of jobs you got. One day, I think they ported the 3DS versions to Steam. One day I'll get 3 and 4 and go back and finally finish them. 4 especially. 4 had an excellent story, and I never finished it either. I got a decent ways into it too. I know exactly where I was, but I don't want to mention it because it is spoilers. And it's a bit of a, it's a wonderfully what the fuck moment. So I definitely don't want to mention it. But to people that are familiar generally with the story of 4, you probably know what I'm referring to. Yeah, there's no real way I can allude to it without spoiling something, so I won't. If someone's super curious, they can just ask me, I guess, and I'll answer it somewhere that, people can choose to see it, therefore they're not forced to listen to it. I guess I'm going to take off my glasses and say what it is. So if you don't want to know where I was because I want to tell you where I was, but I want to give people the opportunity to not hear it. We'll take off my glasses, say where I was, and then when I put my glasses back on, it's safe to unmute. Okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Glasses are off. Safe enough time for people to have muted. I got to the moon. Got to the moon. Can't even remember if I met the dude yet. I loosely know that part of the story because of Record Keeper, which just basically reviews all Final Fantasies, including spin-offs like Dirge of Cerberus and everything. So, like, I cannot remember his name, but I know he's, like, I'm pretty sure he's, like, Cecil's real dad or whatever. Cecil, however you want to say it. Yeah, but I got to the moon. And I either got to the moon or I was in the Giant. Do you go to the moon before you do the Giant? I might have been in the Giant. And just remembering the moon is after that. I don't know. It's the moon. Anyway, glasses back on now. Spoilers are over. Yeah, someday I'd like to go back and finish, especially 4. I'd like to try and finish 3, because I'm pretty sure I was in the final dungeon of 3. And I don't even remember if I hit a wall or not. I think I was just... It had been like... I'd been playing this game for weeks. I was still in high school. And it's just like, I have gotten my enjoyment out of this title. I'm good now. I've been playing this game forever. Especially as I get older, jumping topics. I don't see myself revisiting it on my DS, even though I still own them. Or even, I don't know, maybe I could get by with playing them on PC in some way or another. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. But I don't see myself playing them on my DS anytime soon, just because I've become kind of disillusioned with the handhelds. Like, I'd rather play something on the big screen. Like, there's no real comfortable way for me to sit and focus on a handheld in this recliner. So, like, I get sore quick. I can't really relax. In fact, when I finally played Persona 4 Golden, I actually looked up some cracks. So, well, I say cracks. It's different ways to mod my Vita so that I could connect it to my computer and also connect a DualShock 4 to it. Because the cord wasn't long enough to reach to me, so I had the screen, basically was kind of, found a way to rig it up like a webcam, and I had to open up, come on, I had to open up, OBS, there it is. I opened up OBS and then, like, pulled up a full screen preview so I could have it on my TV and had it hooked up to my DualShock 4 so that I could play it. The only real problem with this setup is that it wasn't taking power that way, so I could only play it for so long during the day, and then I'd have to stop because my Vita would be dying. I want to get that on Steam too, because maybe not right now, because I think after this I'm going to be a little RPG'd out. I want to go back, finish Sunshine, because I started it, but go back, finish Sunshine, maybe play Galaxy if I'm not sick to death of a platformer by then. Who knows? And then Strikers is soon, Persona 5 Strikers, and I'm hanging on to Christmas money for that. So who knows? Who knows where I'll go from here? Um, there's a couple of games I actually want to revisit just on my Switch now that I have a good controller. I've been tossing around the idea of replaying Hollow Knight, though I might try and play that on PC. A friend of mine's got it. I can use his library. But if all else fails, I'll just re-download it on my Switch and play it. Because as much as I like the freedom of Joy-Cons, now that I get to fully slouch and everything, precision platforming and precision combat like Hollow Knight, it's hard to do on Joy-Cons because you don't have a real D-pad. That's the big thing, honestly. You just don't have a real D-pad. So like when you want to bear down, and like the 4 buttons work, but like now that I have a Pro Controller, this D-pad is great. Like I've used worse D-pads than just 4 buttons. Believe me, I have. Frankly, my biggest drawback of like the 360 controller would probably still be my favorite controller, just because I like the heft of it. But on most of the standard ones, the D-pad is garbage. I have this silver one. Let me just grab it. Hang on. I have this silver one here. I'm going to pull out this light so we can see it good. Or maybe you can see it fine. I have this silver one here that I picked up like back in 2011. I've played it so hard that started to come off, so I threw this stick cover on it. But it's got this really nice D-pad on it that actually it's still soft, but you can spin it and get rid of the weird cup part of it, which I used to like the cup part of it, but I don't know. It's like, and it's still not great. Like I would not want to play Hollow Knight with this D-pad, but like I like the weight of this. I like how I've just always liked the buttons. I've just always liked how it feels. I've used this one so much. I used to wear a ring on this finger, and you can really tell. So, but like, so for the longest, that was my favorite controller. And like the sticks on the DS, the DS4, the DualShock 4 took some getting used to for me. Like at first, they almost hurt my finger just because I wasn't used to the way they are. Every stick before then has been kind of concave, and these do this weird thing where there is, well, you can't really tell unless it's anymore because I've used it so much I've worn them down. But like, there's a hump. So yeah, it's got the kind of it's more like a hump, a normal, like a stick that's convex with a ring around it. And for one, it gets really gross. I mean, despite the fact that I clean this often, stuff's always building up in that. But like the humps aren't as bad on this one anymore, because I've used this one so excessively, like very excessively, between several hundred hours of playing Destiny with friends, several hundred hours. It's just like I've used it a lot. And it's just, I've worn it down over time. It was the one that I used on my PC for a while. I made the mistake of buying, and I say it was a mistake now, despite the fact that I was fine with it for a long time, a Razer 360 controller, and I got this thing back way back when. And, like, don't get me wrong, it was great. It had some customizable buttons. It felt really good. Um, the buttons felt really good. But, like, it kind of didn't take long for it to start falling apart. And that's not what you want in a controller. Now I'm gonna have to use a different party here. Anyway, yeah, I'm just kind of rambling at this point, which it's good for it to be a ramble and not a rant, but still, I'm gonna go ahead and head out and fully concentrate on what I'm doing, because I almost didn't get away from that one alive. And these enemies are going to be a pain in the tail, so I'm going to need to pay a little bit more attention to them, unfortunately. So, it's been nice to just talk and not be angry tonight. Hopefully that trend will continue, and I will see you all tomorrow.